Good afternoon, YouTube modeling community. Robert Bishop from RV Model Works coming at you from Moscow, Idaho. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I don't do a whole lot of open box reviews, but I'm going to do one today in between updates on my Camaro. And what we have is the AMT 1/16 scale 64.5 Mustang. I don't think I ever built one of these as a kid, but I've wanted to do one for a long time. I used to have a 65 with the pony interior. But anyway, let's just get right into this. We've got the chassis. It is textured. So nice semi-gloss or silk black would be good on there. I'll most likely just use my Stynylrez primer. And then the interior tub. Got a few sink marks, but it's underneath the seat where the seat goes. Pedals are molded in. Seats do have a weird, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it does have a weird indentation like it's been sat in. I don't know if that's intentional or what. That's pretty cool. Mustang. Oh boy, those are pretty shallow. I'm hoping there's going to be some of the Mustang logos on the car or on the sheet. I've got a 3D version of the overflow bag. I'll grind that off. Pretty standard. And then we've got the hood, and actually the Ford is pretty decent. That I may be able to. I've been wanting to try where you foil over it. I've seen guys foil over it, trim it close, and then paint, and then go back over with some thinner and pull it off. I'm going to try that on this car. So, just like that. Next, we've got the dual exhaust. It looks pretty good. Nothing. You can see the other half of the muffler there goes out the back. Interior seats. Got an extra seat back here, which I'm not sure I'm even going to use these seats. Then we've got some suspension and body parts. We've got the Ford 9-inch, which kind of looks a little funky. Looks a little square. But front and rear valence. We've got two different sets of leaf springs. I'm sure that's to probably adjust the height. Yeah, those are going to come off anyway. So we've got two sets of shocks. And it looks like, yeah, one looks to be just a touch longer. But actually, for an old kit, I don't know how old it is, what the original release was, but it's not terrible. There's some flash on some of the parts, but it's not overly flashy. Still plenty of sink marks though, like right at the front of the manifold there. And you gotta love how they're still running the steel rod through the oil pan. That'll change. I always pin mine and then fill those in. Then most likely generator, carburetor, fan, coils, exhaust, starter, looks like gonna be the generator. Not a whole lot of detail, but I'm gonna fix that. Then we got the dual carb, the front engine plate, headers, the brackets for the headers. And we've got the dash. I'm gonna get, and I haven't ordered them yet, but this company on eBay, Best Model Car Parts, he makes killer dash decals. These are the decals for the Camaro. You can see they're really nice. The nice thing about these is you can go in from behind and hollow it out and just use clear glue and put them on. A couple steering wheels, aftermarket, stock, some hinges for the doors, wheel backs. It looks to be like a gauge pod. Then we've got the doors. I do have some door handles. I'll show you my 3D stuff here when I'm done. But those are really shallow, so I will just sand those down. I'm not sure how well these things actually hinge. If they don't hinge well, I will most likely just glue the doors in. Then the steel wheels, these for the hubcaps, heater core, radiator, engine cross brace, battery. White walls. It's funny because if you look on here, that's how they go on there, is they just glue right on top there. But as you can see, they still have the raised lettering. So you have to cut that Firestone down just so it'll sit inside that lip. And then you have to carefully glue that in there. But anyway, you get those if you feel adventurous. You get 4 stock Firestone tires. Then you get 2 larger, I think they're Goodyear, yep. Goodyear's on the rear. And then we have the glass. And I like how each large piece front and back is separated. So they can't be rustling around, scratching each other up. And then you got the axles and some tubing. And that's for like spark plugs and hoses, which will be going a different route on those. All right, decals. And looking here, nope, there's no Ford Mustang markers. So I'm gonna actually try to source, if not be able to source them, I'll probably order some from STS decals, which I will put a link down in the description. If you remember correctly, my 74 Winston Western 500 Charger, he did my gold number 96s for one of my cars. Instructions, you got your Cobra engine. Oh, speaking of Cobra, we need to get the chrome first. All right. Chrome actually looks fairly decent. Center caps don't look muddled. Rear view, center of the wheel, the grill, black wash would go over that pretty good. Got the door handles. I've got some 3D door handles that I printed, so I won't use those. Same with the carbs. I've got my own carbs. The stock air cleaner. Then we got the Cobra valve covers. Let me turn those around so you can read Cobra. The stock hubcaps. The Cobra dual carb air cleaner. Wonderful two-piece, which you need to put together, sand, and putty it so there's not a seam line in it. And I didn't really pay attention, but this thing has some, and it's not gonna, let's see if I can go out to, there we go. Look at those nice sets of daisies. I think those are some of the best daisy kits I've ever seen. Kit wheels, excuse me. Yeah, very impressed. All right, so that's it on the kit. Zoom back out. You can tell I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm a little out of order. Anyway, you got your base motor, and then whether you want to do stock or your Cobra, gives your the length on your spark plug wires, which is, I think, is kind of neat. And then your interior color callouts, your tires, then your chassis with trim off shaded area of parts number 58, 59, 60, 61 are used. So yeah, if you're using headers, you trim those back a little bit. And then with the optional rear wheel, you use the taller leaf spring and shock. And then that's how your door hinges work. Pretty simple. Battery and brake. I've got all this stuff printed up for my own stuff here. Rear tail light, lens covers, lenses, and then your decal choice. So as it comes down to this kit, the very simplistic instructions. So I'm going to go through some of the 3D stuff. This is from my own store, rbmodelwork.com. This is something, my 65, it came with Krager's and Road Hugger radials when I bought it. And then the first thing I did was put, let me zoom in a little bit. And the first thing I did was put Krager's on it, or center lines. So all my years of hot rodding and stuff, the only 2 tires I ever bought and put on my car are the Centerline Automags and Krager's. Just that's just, you know, where we grew up with in Walla Walla, and then there's the center caps, some valve stems to go with it. But again, I have these on sale on my website and as well as my eBay store. There's those. And I do have a set of Krager's. These are from Fireball Model Works from the Patreon. You can see how it's kind of flat on this end. His tires are set up that way to where they look weighted. But these are just some Goodyear. I'm gonna build a kind of a replica or a facsimile of my garage that I grew up in. And a lot of the stuff that I'm showing you will be speed parts. I'm gonna build some shelves in my garage to put all my speed parts on. And then here's some other stuff. These are, and these you can see how they're wavy. Joseph over at Fireball Model Works designed these as used. So, and these are for a 66 Bronco. So, and I'm not sure I'm going to use them, but I just wanted to have them just in case I did. Did my own 9-inch rear end. Got some glass packs. I put Smitty's glass packs on mine when I bought them. Pretty much just straight pipes. And then some engine electronics. And there's door handles and the door knobs. Let's see. Some door pulls. A cassette player, which I had in mine. There's the overflow Fomoco bag. That'll go in there. I do have a steering wheel option. I will most likely use the stock steering wheel. And then I had a B&M Hurst, or a B&M Z-gate shifter, and that I used in mine. It looked exactly like this Hurst version. So I'm going to use that. There's the exterior door handles. Very nice detail. Then I put some slapper bars on there myself. And then I also have a front grille to put in it. Forgot about that. And then I'm also gonna put this 429 hood scoop on it. That's not the one I had. I'm thinking I'm gonna sand mine down a little bit right here, and this come down here Mine was more rounded. Grab the hood real quick. I know it's a Boss 429 hood, but this is the only one I could find and come up with. And it'll be all right. I'm not going for 100% perfection. I want it to represent the car that I did own. But I'm not going to go crazy or, you know, be upset if the things aren't perfect. Then some leaf springs. Printed those off. I need to size these again. Let me get this stuff off to the side. And then what's next? And I do not recall what kind of transmission. I had a 4-speed in it, but I can't recall what kind of 4-speed it was. Most of us ran Muncie or the Rock Crusher or the M22. But this is the small block from 3D VM. Great looking motor. Excellent detail. Love this. And I've got 3 different sets of heads that go with it. Which again, what I will do is I will put the heads on the shelf with the valve covers on it as speed parts. Here you can see air conditioning, power steering, all the little doodads for the motor. Auto light, engine pull covers. Those are cool. Couple different distributors. And I went ahead and, like I said, I printed off the full. I have the base motor plus I think 7 of the different options or packages that he sells, file packs that I opted to buy and sell. Great to deal with. And then this is all the manifolds. Of course, you got the blower, dual carb. You got the tunnel ram, dual carb. Got the single tunnel ram. I had a 289, and this block is correct for 289 to 351 Windsor. I had a dual carb on mine, so I will be running dual carbs. But then we've got multiple injector setups, and then multiple carb manifolds, like a Torker, an Edelbrock, a 2-barrel stock. But like I said, I'm going to run the dual carb on mine just because that's what I did have on my car. And then all the other manifolds and stuff will be painted up and will be displayed on my shelves in the garage diorama. And then got a bunch of air cleaners. I ran a Cobra air cleaner on mine, so that's what I'm going to use. But these are from 3D VM. Just excellent, excellent. I love these beehive type triangle air cleaners. I always did. But anyway, and those, same thing. I may actually put a few in boxes. Let's take a look at the transmissions. You got the Ford top loader. Great looking carb. Got a place you can make your own. I'm going to make my own fork to go in there. And then this is the AOD racing version. Like a 2-speed power glide. And the torque converter. Fits right on the back of the block. All right. What's next? We've got oil pans. Four different options here. Whoops. You got a Milodon drag racing style, huge sump. We have a Cobra style, no script. Then we have the Cobra version with script. And we've got a stock. And basically, kind of funny. My car that I'm going to replicate was gray primer. It had both front fenders were primered black. They actually came from the factory that way. They were OEM replacement parts. When I bought the car, I bought it with no front end on it. Got a smoking deal. It had a professional built high rev 289. And I mean, I could take that sucker up to 7,000, no problem. Even though it had Krager's on it, I paid $1,200 for the car. And I think I spent $400 on putting a front clip on it. And I can't remember exactly where I bought my fenders and hood. But anyway, my car was gray primer. My two front fenders were like a satin black, which was just a coating. And then my hood, when I bought the hood, and it was a one piece. I bought it with the hood scoop on it. Was in metal. I cleaned it up, sanded it down, and then I used a matte clear coat, just rattle canned it, and coated the metal and left it. So it's going to be interesting to paint this car primer and flat black or satin black, and then paint the hood metallic. But these are the header options. Got some long tube, some back down, like some side straight drop down type headers. So I'm hoping these are the ones that I'll be able to get fitted on there. I know the long tube that I had, I do believe Mine were, I do believe they were Thorson headers, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember right off the bat. All right, and then valve covers. Multiple valve cover options on this thing. Just get these turned over, and got some different like fittings and stuff that go on there. Ford Racing. Oh. I just had a pair of generic chrome on mine, but I do believe I'm either going to go with the Ford Racing or the Cobra. I'm not sure. I just like the Ford Racing. But again, this was just everything in my packs that I went ahead and just printed out. Basically, it gives me diorama parts when it comes down to doing that. And then last but not least are carburetors. And basically, the way I have it set up in my store is you can order the base motor, and then the drop-down menus, you can go through and order whatever option, like the blower package. Anyway, let's see here. Those are going to be a pain in the butt. They're going to be running all over the place while I try to lift this up. And we got some really nice carbs. These are Cobra style carbs. We've got a 650 here. Excuse me, Cobra. We got some fuel injection. 750. We got a thermal quad. We got Carter. Demon Dominators. Oh, look, even a 2-barrel. And then, of course, all the different injectors. So, I do believe that I had these on my Edelbrocks on my car. I'm almost positive I wasn't running Holleys at the time. I didn't move to Holley until I bought my Oldsmobile. So, and then to preview just a few other things. This is something that's going to be going in my store soon. This is the 572 by Blackbox. I used... I sell another gentleman's motors, Kenneth Gibson. He's got a big block that has the front timing cover and the water pump. But I adapted it size-wise to fit this versus the pre-done pulley and alternator setup that Blackbox does. But if you buy it as a stock kit, just the plain 572 will have that pre-done one with it. And then, oops, better not lose that. Get that back in the bag. Don't want to come up one short. And here's one of the injectors. And these were all painted with the buffable Mr. Hobby. I haven't painted this one yet, but it's just straight up and down injector. Here's the one I did kind of paint and mock up. It was a side draft. Looks good. And they all have distributor on them. Then we have the dual carb, and this is the same thing. I have it set up where you buy the base motor, and then if you want the dual carb, you just add the dual carb to it. And then the blower, and you can see here, which is really cool, he's got the holes in the inside of the ejector hat that go into the fuel block. Plenty of nice detail on there. And this thing is solid. It's, holy smokes, it's solid. And these are the regular headers that come on the base motor. And that's the front plate that goes on the motor for the blower. And these come with the blower as well. Little coil packs. Then we have the stock oil pan for the 572. On this one, oh no, this is off a different motor, and then this is a stock one. And these are the stock valve covers that come with the base motor. The single carb, that beehive, and then let's see, let me get this stuff out of the way, because this one's a big pain in the butt. It doesn't stay together. This is a dual turbocharger setup. Plugs in here, and you have three options. It has where did it go? Anyway, it's got an ice box for the front. See, where are those little pipes? I don't know. But it's got the intercooler, or it's got the ice box, or, and I don't know what I did with the straight pipes. Cannot find them. Could have swore everything was sitting right here. Oh yeah, there they are. It's under all these 3D parts. Or it has this option to where instead of plugging into this, it just connects right there to the pipe instead. So you can run it straight pipe. And then these are the headers. They come off the engine block, plug into this. Nice wastegate. They're nice detail. I painted this flat aluminum, so when I go to weather it, it'll show some really nice detail. But these are also available on my store. And then the only, well, not the only other 3D. And this I'm going to try to get done pretty quick here. This is by 3D VM. This is their VW go-kart. I've got it all printed up and cleaned up. I need to get it out and get it painted up and get the kit put together. I did finally get my glass settings down. So now I'm printing all my lenses for all my cars that I'm doing. and then vacuum forming the glass. So, and then the last thing I'm going to preview here is this is an item from Fireball Model Works Patreon that I've belonged to for a long time. This is his 446 pack setup. As you can see, the detail on it is just absolutely immaculate. These carburetors, it's got the holes drilled for the heat vacuum advance there. Let me show you here. Got the fuel lines. Got to get those painted. The coil, which goes right here. Yeah, and I got those backwards. Of course I do. Oh, look, it even fits a little better. Anyway, you can see the detail on the carbs are just amazing. These print great, and this is 1/6 scale, but these things print great in 1/24, 1/25 scale. Just absolutely amazing detail. And everything's pre-drilled. Here's one that I actually got the wash on. And then the air cleaner, the cleaner box, which goes up against the hood. This is kind of a lighter grayish foam. Excuse me. But if you want to run this on top as a detail part, you cut the pre-done bars off of there, and then you can put this one on, and then it'll come up through here just like that. But it's got the correct air cleaner and the screen that goes over the top. Need to get all this finished up and painted. And then it actually has some wing nuts that goes on here. So, but anyway, that's it for today. And this Mustang is something, it'll be my next large scale build. After I complete my Grumpy Jenkins car, which you can see the motor's coming right along. Once I get that done, I'm in the 2025 NASCAR group build. I'll get that finished. And then this will be my next large scale build. So anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. I know I run long today, but I appreciate you hanging in there with me. Have a blessed weekend, and I'll probably drop a video next week. I've got the decals coated on my Grumpy Jenkins car, so I'll be doing decals soon. I'm working on getting the wheels set up on the hubs right now. Get my chassis and a roller, and go from there. So update on that next week, and we'll see you around. Peace.